Now, in other news, motorists have shown improved discipline following the implementation of the No Contact Apprehension Policy or NCAP, according to the Metro Manila Development Authority or MMDA. On major roads like Commonwealth Avenue, drivers, especially motorcyclists, are now staying within their designated lanes. The number of apprehensions caught on CCTV dropped from over 1,100 on Monday to under 1,000 by Tuesday, signaling better compliance. The MMDA said this improved discipline is helping ensure smoother traffic flow and increased road safety.
We'd like to see an EDSA na kung saan in its entire stretch ay meron talagang maayos na features for active transportation. That would include, for example, pedestrian lanes na covered, walkable, no, safe, no. In fact, mas maganda kung merong may mga tree-lined walkways.
Let's discuss the re-implementation of NCAP and the EDSA rehabilitation with Sentro ng mga Nagkakaisa at Progresibong Manggagawa, Secretary General Joshua Mata. Sir, welcome to News and Views. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Can you hear us okay?
Naghang ata. Sir? Naghang ata. Internet
pa rin.
Technical problem, technical issue. Yeah, yesterday we spoke with regarding yung EDSA. Sino yung guest natin?
Yung sa Move As One Coalition.
Move As One. And he was saying, kasi dito nabanggit yung 3 lines, di ba? Yung original design dapat ng EDSA long ago was
may mga trees,
may walkway, parang similar to
pedestrian lane.
Similar to sa bayside ng ng Manila, Ross Boulevard. Oo, yung Baywalk. Similar to that. Yun ang original intent ng EDSA. Pero ang nangyayari daw sa EDSA naging highway hell daw ang hindi daw friendly sa motorista. Ayun, we have Sir Joshua joining us. Sir, thank you very much.
Can you hear us okay now?
Nakamute.
Yes. Hi. Hello. Hi. Good morning.
Yon, thank you. Sir, thank you for joining us and let's get right to it. No, itong NCAP na to and amidst the rehabilitation that will begin, how do you think for this year will affect in daily commutes natin?
Nag-expect ko kami ng mas marami pang problema dahil dito sa rehabilitation. And that's exactly why we are so worried. The government is spending 8.7 to rebuild EDSA, which is obviously long overdue.
Yeah.
But it appears that there is no clear plans from the government on how they can mitigate yung further pain and suffering that motorists and commuters are now already suffering from. No?
Yeah.
So that's the reason why we're asking the Department of Labor to step up and call for a summit where everyone can actually be informed and more importantly where they can listen to the workers, the commuters, and the general public on what are the better ways to address yung problemang darating.
Yeah, well, one related to that, while we understand that we really need to fix EDSA, to its original intent, but madami nagsasabi that this 1 year repair where they will implement yung odd-even along EDSA, continued number coding sa general streets ng Metro Manila, may affect prices in the long term of yung daily commutes. Take a case in point, mga T-Invest natin, mga Grab, baka daw magka-apektuhan ang presyo because magsa-surge lahat. Most of the cars will be subjected to this coding. Do you think there might be also a backlash na hindi tinignan ng mabuti in terms of how the prices will be affected?
Well, definitely. It appears like there's really no clear social preparation for this. In fact, we're asking the government to release its own simulations, if it has even done any simulations, kung ano talaga ang impact nito, so that people will know what kind of pain they are supposed to suffer. But more importantly po, I think we all deserve to understand, to know, what are we sacrificing for? So they're going to ask us to suffer more pain for the next 2 years. And then what? What kind of EDSA do we see? Is this going to be a better EDSA or is just another EDSA that continues to prioritize cars? What we want is an EDSA that is people-centric, that moves people, and not just vehicles. Unfortunately, that's not the thinking that we see from government.
Now, a few days after po the NCAP re-implementation, ano po yung mga observations na nakita po ninyo in terms of yung how the commuters and the workers commute daily along that line? Ano po yung mga observation po na nakita natin?
Well, many of the riders na membro namin are saying na for them, naging mas difficult kasi nahihirapan sila na magpasikot-sikot, di ba? But some are saying na nakatulong nga ito sa pagdidisiplina ng ating mga mamayan. So probably it helps, no? But again, this is a different situation when it comes to, there's going to be a different situation by June 13 when they start shutting down yung isang lane ng EDSA.
Yeah.
You can just imagine the kind of Carmageddon that would create.
Yeah, well, I think no less than Secretary Vince Dizon said that it wasn't the goal in sa rehabilitation EDSA. The goal wasn't really no guaranteed to ease traffic, but parang ang plano nila is to rehabilitate EDSA in such a way to its old intent. Like we were speaking to the other day, Move as One Coalition, that the original intention of EDSA was to be similar to yung Rojas Boulevard, yung may trees, may safe spaces for bikes and motorcycles. Kumbaga, you're saying people-centric. Is this okay with you kahit walang guarantees na traffic will be eased basta it's safer for everyone?
Well, obviously we need to rebuild the EDSA talaga.
Yeah.
And we want to see an EDSA that's people-centric. So sa aking tingin, if people understand na yan yung vision that's being presented, that will help naman na maunawaan ng mga tao ano yung sacrifice na ginagawa nila. Unfortunately, wala nagpapaliwanag pa tungkol dyan. No? Kaya nga tingin namin, mahalaga talaga na may summit. And more importantly, sigurado ko, marami pa pong mga ibang ideas na pwede nating explore, pwedeng explore ng gobyerno at pakinggan ng gobyerno kung paano po iibsan na magiging epekto nito sa atin. So a summit is really what we need to do.
Right. But can we hear, I mean, some of the ideas that they're looking at to help ease po para maging people-centric yung NCAP re-implementation and EDSA's rebuilding? Sir Joshua? Sir Joshua, can you hear us?
Maglalag ata yung
naglag ulit siya.
Yung internet.
Yeah, kasi we understand naman talaga yung agam-agam ng ating mga workers. At minsan nga nakikita ko dun sa mga post ng iba na lagi na lang daw yung mga working classes ang nag-a-adjust pagdating sa mga ganitong klaseng operasyon. So yeah, we want to hear kung ano ba yung... Sir Joshua, are you there?
Yes,
yeah,
I'm here.
So
sorry about my signal.
Yeah. But going back to my question po, can we hear some of the ideas that you're looking at, para po mas maigi or mas, kumbaga, mas maayos para po sa mga working class po natin?
Well, there's several things that obviously needs to be done apart from yung iba't ibang mga pinopropose na mga schemes ngayon, like for example, flexible work arrangement, which may be applicable for some, but obviously not applicable for many. For those who would necessarily have to travel, then there should be a plan on how to, for example, there should be a plan on how to provide for them in such a way na magiging convenient naman sa kanilang magbiyahe. Why can't we ask, for example, corporations who are able to do it to provide their own shuttle, and then allow the shuttles, buses then to use the bus lane. Maybe that's one idea. Maybe the other is that the obvious need para magbigay talaga ng ayuda halimbawa sa mga manggagawa, lalo na if magdodoble pa ang current na level ng suffering nila sa pagbabiyahe. You can just imagine there are people who actually have to travel anywhere from 3 to 5 hours a day going back and forth just to work for 8 hours.
That's right.
Pag magdodoble pa ito, hindi ba dapat may ayuda na sila?
Actually, sir, you're right. May computation na yung current commute going 2 to 3 going to work and then another 3 going may even be during this year of repair magiging 8 hours. And I'd like
Exactly.
I'd like to ask your thoughts on the current odd-even scheme which will be implemented in EDSA. Kasi ang dami na magsasabi, it's going to make things worse because during the rehabilitation, we all know EDSA would have only roughly around 2 lanes northbound and southbound.
Yes.
Naglagay ka pa ng odd-even scheme, so whatever vehicles could have passed in EDSA, you're loading it onto the side streets of the cities, therefore paralyzing movement daw in the cities itself. So, ano yung thinking mo about this? What are your thoughts about this?
Well, that's the reason why we're asking government to come up with simulations. Kasi ang hirap naman ng parang ang policy making natin ay alahoy. No? Hindi ba dapat pinag-aaralan ng maayos yan? We're spending 8.7 billion. Can't we spend a little money para naman makita natin kung yung mga pinopropose nila ng mga policies na mga alternatives would actually work? I think a simple simulation can help us understand ano yung possible impact nito. Pangalawa, tingin ko may pagka-discriminatory siya in the sense na those who can afford it would obviously just end up buying another vehicle.
Right.
Correct.
So that so that they can have vehicles that they can use every day for the entire week. But what about those na hindi naman nila kakayanin yan?
Tama.
So may pagka-discriminatory siya, di ba? Hindi may unequal ang magiging effect nito sa mga tao.
Nakita po natin na sabi ng DOTR that they will add or they have added yung mga additional buses, tapos bagon, operational hours ng MRT.
Skyway, libre.
Libre yung Skyway.
Yeah.
Do we see that on a positive side po para sa ating mga workers? Or kulang pa?
I think those things will help. I'm pretty sure those things will help. No, lalo na kung kapapagamit natin ng libre yung portions ng Skyway that can be used, no, para mag-detour yung mga tao. Of course, we will obviously end up paying something pa rin doon sa tollways na yan. Kahit hindi naman niya magiging libre talaga. I'm pretty sure that the corporations owning it would obviously ask government for something. And we as commuters will end up paying for it in one way or the other. But my point is, hindi ba po pwedeng pag-aral mag-present sa atin ng malinaw na analysis na at simulation, ano ang impact nito sa atin?
You've been, I want to follow this up. You've been mentioning about a summit between the government and other concerned agencies and also with the workers. Have you reached out to DOTR at least, to have this summit?
I know that the Move As One has already proposed this idea. And we've been saying this even to the Department of Labor. But we have yet to receive any word about it.
What sparked my interest also, sir, was you mentioned about yung subsidy because yung current road time computation is at 6 hours for the general riding public. And now it may even reach 8 to 10 hours, which will require higher transportation expenses, may it be for gasoline or for commute fares. Have you spoken with private entities, other organizations about this financial impact? And what subsidies na pwedeng pag-usapan with the government in terms for the riding public?
Wala po. Wala pa po kaming pagkakataon na pag-usapan yan with the Department of Labor. I think the Department of Labor right now is more busy consulting the businesses rather than the workers, unfortunately.
All right. With that, patuloy po kami makikipag-ugnayan sa inyo regarding this issue. But for the meantime, thank you so much for your time, Joshua Mata, Secretary General of the Sentro ng mga Nagkakaisa at Progresibong Manggagawa. Thanks for your time, sir.
Thank you po.
Quickly before we go, sana maganda yun na pag-usapan about yung financial impact and about what assistance meron pwede ibigay sa general riding public because mababawasan na naman ang sweldo nila.
And we understand talaga to ease the traffic is
but
develop a better mass transport system.
Yeah, but yung financial impact,
pero ang problema
hindi tinignan siguro.